What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for February 1st, 2024. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. It's February. Dry January is over. Final tally was down 12 pounds, and now we're overlapping with fasting February. Gonna at least hit that 51-pound mark. I'm feeling good about it. Part of doing Dry January is to get a jump start on it, so I'm feeling good, overlapping with the fasting. Don't even know if I'm going to have a beer tonight to celebrate, but I probably will. And if you did Dry January or still on your resolutions for January, congratulations. If you didn't hit it or had a damp January or you missed a couple workouts, still not too late to get back on track. Let's do it. Let's win it. Let's win 2024 together and just go at it. All right. As always, let's start with the question of the day recap. And yesterday I asked you, in honor of Harry Kalas winning the Ford C. Frick Award in 2002, who is the GOAT of Philly announcers? And we've had a lot of good ones there. And no shocker, really, with 64% of the vote, Harry Kalas ran away with it. Merrill Reese was next, followed by Gene Hart. Bill Campbell didn't get any love, and I have a funny feeling that is just because of the age demographic of this audience. I bet if I asked guys my dad's age probably would still go Harry Kalas because of what he went. But Bill Campbell probably was like our grandparents' announcer. Just the fact that he was all over the place. And I kind of remember him late in his career. He had we talked about him in December, actually, but he had a show on WIP. He did a couple guest spots doing sports reports on Channel 10, back when it was CBS 10. But no shocker there, and I don't think any one of these guys you could have gone wrong with. I probably would have went with Harry, although Merle, there was a point in time back when I was a kid before the delays got really to where they were when it was straight antenna TV or just basic cable, when you used to be able to line up the WIP, or at the time it was WYSP, the WYSP feed with the Channel 10, because that's when it was CBS, that's where the NFC played, and be able to listen to Merrill Reese. But again, you can't go wrong with any of them, and I know there's a lot of young people in my audience like, what the hell are you talking about? Ask your dad, ask your grandparents. They'll be able to tell you what I'm talking about. But Harry Kalas is our GOAT announcer in Philly sports history. I told you yesterday, soundtrack of my summer as a kid. All right, it's February. Why not just go subscribe to the YouTube channel? I got a lot of good things. I might be ready to make a couple announcements with just the future of both podcasts coming up. You may have noticed there hasn't been a Back to the Future in a while, and I might be announcing something soon, so stay tuned for that. But just go subscribe to the YouTube channel and you'll be in the loop with everything. I'm working on some ways. I'm seeing some things to maybe do some live shows. That's where I'm at with that. So stay tuned. But like I said, the best way to stay in the loop, if I would happen to do a live show, is to subscribe, because you'll get a notification when things go up. But working on details and have some calls and meetings lined up over the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. It's February 1st. Buy some Girl Scout cookies. You're going to do it anyway. And at this point, the initial buzz has worn off. Your initial boxes have probably run out. If you're anything like our house, order some more. Follow the link in the description. Get them from Ella. She's so close. She needs one more box. One more box to hit her goal. So be the hero and buy Ella's last box of Girl Scout cookies so she can hit her goal. And then she gets all kinds of extra credit if she goes over. So buy two. Make her go over and exceed her goal. But everything you need, hook her up for her camping trip, is in the description for Girl Scout cookies. All right, let's get into the Sixers. And they're in action tonight against Utah, the last game of this road trip. Let's get this over with. Get the hell off of the West Coast. Nothing against the West Coast. I just, as somebody on the East Coast, it sucks watching games out there. And I know for West Coast people, it's great because a 10 o'clock game is like a normal game for them. And like I heard people talking like during the tournament, They have starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. Like the basketball, like it's great if you're watching out there, but for somebody who lives on the East Coast, West Coast games suck. And this has not been a good trip for the Sixers anyway. Joe obviously is out tonight, and this is something I'm still kind of trying to figure out. He had the MRI. They're waiting on the results. Like, I don't understand how you're an NBA which is like $1 billion corporation. The Sixers themselves are probably worth close to $1 billion. How can you not get the MRI results almost instantaneously? Don't understand that. It is 2024. What are we doing, people? Like, why does it take so long? Because I've gotten MRIs before, given to you like on a disc, which I don't even have a place to put a disc on my computer. Maybe that's because I had an MRI a while ago. I'm kind of dating myself there. And again, the young people are like, what the hell are you talking about? What's a disc? But anyway, why are we not able to get these MRI results to let us know what's happening? Like, it just blows my mind. And maybe if somebody in the medical field can explain it to me, that would be great. 267-495-8531, or send me a personal text message, because I literally have no clue why this is not able to be done instantaneously. But looking back on it, and there's so many things about the injury itself. Like, obviously the question is, should he have been playing? The medical staff cleared him. He wanted to play. But how much of that was pressure from all the numbnuts who are out there saying, oh, Joe's scared to do this, Joe's scared to do that. And it doesn't really matter the whole atmosphere and things like that. We need him ready for the playoffs. I don't care about the MVP. He doesn't care about the MVP. Quite frankly, I don't care about seeing him play Jokic. I mean, I would love to see him play in the NBA Finals, but I need Joe to be healthy. And because of the pressure from idiots on national media questioning it and saying, oh, now here we are, Joe might have a long-term injury. And all for what? Because he felt pressure, because the NBA wants to see him play. Like, no, like, I don't care about fans in Denver. I don't care about fans in Golden State. I don't care about fans in Utah. I want to see my team make it past the second round. The only way we're going to do that is to have a healthy Joel. So if that means him playing 60 games this year, great. It means him playing 55, even better. I mean, that's the thing. So it's just stupid. And obviously he wasn't right before the injury, but looking back at it, I'm sorry. It's a dirty play. Like, I keep watching the replay, and it's like he had the ball. He was kind of up, and he jumped. It's not like he tripped and lost his balance and fell. He dove. And I'm sorry. That is a dirty play. And again, I thought it was Draymond. It wasn't, but I mean, maybe Draymond's rubbing off. I don't know why more people aren't talking about it. You can tell, like, there's a difference between when you slip, because he didn't try to brace himself. He fell. And again, I'm telling you, it would have been a 15-yarder in the NBA or the NFL. In college, it would have been a targeting foul. He would have been ejected from the game. It's ridiculous. All because media people were like, oh, Joe, questioning Joe's toughness, that now, because you guys are idiots, this is what happened. But let me know, was it a dirty play? To me, it sure as hell looks like one. And I would say probably the same thing. Maybe I wouldn't be as adamant about it if I wasn't a Joe fan or a Sixers fan, but I don't know. I mean, should we be concerned? And that ultimately is a question. Like, until we know the results of the MRI, and it's like, all right, why do we not know the results of the MRI? Like, make it make sense. But let's just get the hell out of the West Coast, come back home, and hopefully everything should be better. All right, Phillies news. And the big news is the City Connect jerseys came out. Yeah. I get the whole blue and yellow, the city of Philadelphia colors. I kind of like the love patch on the side. Again, I don't mind the color. I just don't like the design. It looks like like an 80s heavy metal band lettering, but like not Metallica or Guns N' Roses or a big band, like one of those bands that like you see playing at like a dive bar in South Philly, and like they're just this, like, I don't know. And it looks like, I mean, I have gotten better looking shirts out of the parking lot after Eagles games than what these jerseys look like. And I'm sorry, I hate them. I get this. I just feel like the Sixers have done it well with their design, and I don't even know if the team has anything to do with it or whether this is Nike. But the Sixers have done consistently since they started doing them in the NBA, consistently done the City Connect or City Edition jerseys. I love the Sixers, the ones that are like the Reading Terminal Market, the ones they're wearing this year. Love, love, love them. The Phillies ones, if nothing's been announced officially, so I guess there's still time for them to change it. But leaks on YouTube and things, and people that study and are jersey experts say like the patches and Nike logos and everything are exactly where they're consistent with what they should be. But I hate them. I absolutely hate them. And I get like Philly's colors are the blue and yellow. They almost have like you could have done something like a union. Like everything about them is just I don't like them. I don't like them at all. But that's today's question of the day. We're going to have a little bit of fun on a February 1st Thursday. What do you think of these City Connect jerseys? Like them? No. Will they grow on you? Those are your three options. I know sometimes things happen, like those old Frankfurt Yellow Jacket uniforms that the Eagles wore. They kind of grown on me over the years, and maybe because they were ahead of their time almost. But let me know with these City Connect. I think they're horrible. Absolutely horrible. Like, I'd rather them bring back like the all maroon Saturday night special jerseys for the City Connect than whatever this is. But I could be wrong. I'm not a fashion expert. So let me know. What do you think of these jerseys? 267-495-8531. Get you in. You know who doesn't have ugly jerseys and who they should have consulted in the first place to do this? phillygoat.com. Ryan and his team over there, I'm telling you, they could have come up with 18 at least, and I don't know where 18 came from, but 18 different City Edition jerseys for the Phillies that are better than this. My daughter, the one you're going to buy Girl Scout cookies from, she could have designed much far superior jerseys than this. So, but Philly Goat, Ryan and his team do an awesome job. We are so close to pitchers and catchers. I don't know the exact shipping time, but if you want to get your Believe jerseys or your Believe shirts now, you'll have them in time for a couple of the first preseason or exhibition games, spring training games. So go check them out. Believe. It's the same shirt the Phillies were wearing all of last year. We got to believe. It's been a rough couple weeks here for us as Philly fans, but you got to believe that the best is still yet to come. We're going to take 2024. Get that shirt from Philly Goat. Check out the other stuff they have too. I mean, it's just incredible. Like, and it's not hyperbole. Like, literally, the stuff they have is just phenomenal. So go to phillygoat.com at checkout. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off of your order. That's phillygoat.com. Promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off of your order. It's time to believe and go away City Connect jerseys if that's what you're wearing. But let me know your thoughts. 267-495-8531 about the Phillies City jerseys. All right, Eagles news. And for the most part, not a lot team-wise happened yesterday. But Devonta Smith and AJ Brown were on the Kay Adams show yesterday. Kind of peeled back the curtain a little bit and let us know what was going on with the team. When they talked about the collapse, AJ said, and it was something I've talked about on this show, it was like a domino effect. Once it got going, things just, and he used domino effect, I used snowball, but he said they tried to stop the bleeding and it was too late. They ran out of time. To be quite honest, I don't think the way that thing was spiraling, like, it would have gotten any better. So running out of time, I think for that team, the way it was constructed was probably the best thing ever. But I mean, they noticed it, they felt it, they saw the same things we did, which is good. Like, I don't need like a Jalen Hurts robotic rote memory answer of, it's an opportunity to get better. No, like they're acknowledging like, it spiraled out of control and we couldn't do anything to stop it. We tried and it didn't happen. So it's good and refreshing, I feel, to hear the players basically admit and see the same things we were. I know there's going to be some people that'll point the finger right back at Nick Sirianni. I don't know. And speaking of that, Devonta addressed that, and Kay asked him about, did Nick Sirianni lose the locker room? And he was like, no. He didn't lose the team. We just didn't adjust well. And I don't know if we didn't adjust well, whether that meant the coaching, the players. I'll be honest, I think it was a combination of everything. I think when injuries started happening, Howie Roseman didn't adjust well. The guys he brought in, like usually he's money with those mid-season pickups and trades and things like that. He missed on all of them. So, I mean, none of them adjust. The coaching staff absolutely did not adjust well. Even in that Tampa game, why the hell are you not running right up the gut when they're blitzing the hell out of you? That's not a good adjustment. The players did not adjust well. They were trying to press and do things, which is why you got AJ and Jalen changing plays in the Seattle game. They're trying to do too much, and it just spiraled. So I agree that I don't think that he lost the locker room. I think it was just more of an adjustment thing. And with Kellen Moore, they both said, like, let us do what we do. Kellen Moore is known for passing. So it likely means, I would imagine, DeAndre Swift probably will not be back based on what he's probably going to get on the free agent market. But, I mean, that bodes well for AJ and Devonta. They did call out the media, which I absolutely loved, and it said the same thing yesterday. But Devonta was like, I hope the media doesn't try to break us up like they've been trying to do, which they have been. Like, why? Like, in WIP, I'm looking at you, specifically the afternoon show, and I have a feeling it was Jack Fritz from everything I'm seeing. I'm calling you out, dude. Why would you put something out there like that? Like, knowing that, like, you have the audience, like, people, like, like, Bryce Harper listens to the shows on the way into the games. Like, the players are going to hear that. Why cause drama where there is no drama? So you can get listeners? Like, the only people that listen to you are the sheep that are going to believe whatever you say and take it as the gospel. So now all of a sudden you have the national media saying, hey, and there is no trade rumors. It's nothing. It's you trying to create stories to get listeners and clicks and likes and people talking about you. And God damn it, here I am, second day in a row, giving you the time of day. But the fact that AJ and Devonta called you out on it, it's bullshit. Like, stop making stories. There was a point in time, like, I have a journalism degree, so I know you're supposed to report the facts. And yes, like, this is a show where I give my opinions. That's one thing. But creating stories and narratives, that's not responsible journalism. That's, to borrow a line from Donald Trump, that's fake news. It's irresponsible. And the fact that so many people rely on social media and things like that to get their news today, creating stories and narratives for your own gain, that's stupid. It's just dumb. And I'm not going to talk about it anymore. And again, I know it's getting old, and like, I'm sick of talking about it, but yet here we are, another media member in Philly, and there we go. Oh, they run their... No, the media, for some reason, and like, it's not even that it's a tough town to play in. The media is not tough. I think the media, and this is not everybody, I think in some cases the media is just lazy. And that's what it is. Like, there's no story, so let's just create one. Instead of maybe, like, I don't know, doing some research and having a guy like me on where I can give you history lessons and things like that. No, let's just make something up. It's ridiculous. But WIP, if you want to have me on for a daily segment, I'm available. But as far as the trade rumors, AJ Brown did say, I'm a vet. He's like, I kind of been through this before. And at the end of the day, it's a business. Can't wait to see how the media now spins this one that AJ Brown wants out. Like, I can almost see somewhere along the line, you're going to see somewhere on Twitter, one of the shows today, Marcus Hayes, one of the clowns, are going to completely say, oh, AJ Brown wants out of Philly. And no, not one thing he said about that was being out of Philly. He wants to be here. He wants to play next to Devonta. There's no drama there. No drama. The two of them on a screen, side by side. There's no drama. But I can't wait to see how the media spins this today. Ridiculous. Oh, and the other news that came out, and again, I don't know if there's any truth to it. I'm sure they kicked the tires, was about how they were all ready to replace Sirianni with Bill Belichick. And again, I don't know if it, and then people are saying this. And truthfully, I wouldn't have wanted a 76-year-old or 72-year-old Bill Belichick running my team. I don't necessarily think I think he can still coach, but like after Tom Brady left, he didn't do shit in New England. So yeah, I don't know if I would have wanted him to be in full control of my team, and I'm not even going to entertain that much of it because it's not going to happen. Move on. Like, it's so, like, there's hanging on to anything to just rip Sirianni and create a controversy where there's no controversy. Ugh. You know who else is non-controversial? The Clashing Conferences podcast. Go check out my boys over the Clashing Conferences for their playoff edition, Super Bowl preview, anywhere you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. New episode dropped last night, so go check them out. It's definitely worth the listen. All right, today we're going to go back to 1973. And on this day, the Flyers beat the Canucks 5-4 at the Spectrum. Bill Flett had 2 goals and an assist. Bobby Clark had 2 assists, but this was not the big news of the day for the Flyers. The big news was Barry Ashebee was suspended 8 games and fined $150 earlier in the day, all stemming from an incident in Pittsburgh on January 27th. Ashebee was frustrated by penalty calls and got so frustrated that he punched referee Brian Lewis in the face. You've heard that right. Barry Ashebee punched the referee in the face. The Flyers obviously were relieved because they were expecting a lot worse for punching a ref in his face. To his credit, Barry Ashebee was remorseful about the entire situation. He said fatigue. They had played 6 games in 10 days. And frustration with the penalties being called. They were the Broad Street Bullies, so they weren't every time they, just like in the NFL today, where like sometimes, or the NBA, where ticky-tack calls, they were getting a lot of penalties called, and he said it definitely played a part and it played a role in it. Was remorseful, said he knew it was wrong when he did it immediately, and was focused on letting his teammates down. Now they had to play 8 games without him. Coach Fred Shiro was hoping that the whole thing did not change sort of the way they approached the game and wanted them to still play their style, which they became the Broad Street Bullies this season. But on this day, in 1973, Barry Ashebee was suspended 8 games and only fined $150 for punching the referee in the face. Could you imagine if that happened today? It would be a lot more than 8 games and a hell of a lot more than $150. But the Flyers did beat the Canucks without Barry Ashebee, who was suspended for 8 games today for punching the referee in the face. All right, it is February, and it's time for This Day in Philly Sports History Black History Spotlight. We did this last year and sort of kicked off how we do the extra parts of the show, and basically it's helped transform this and Back to the Future, which hopefully we'll have an announcement. But this month, last year we just did Philly athletes. So it was people from Philly, people who played in Philly, who made major contributions. Today I wanted to drill down even deeper, since this is a Philly-based podcast. And this year we're going to do born and raised in the Philly area and made an impact. So some of these players did play for our local teams. Some of them played elsewhere. Some of them you might know. Some of you won't. And this is the fun part for me about this podcast, is being able to give you guys nuggets and tidbits about people that you may or may not have known. So let's kick off our Black History Spotlight with Dave Robinson. Dave was born in Mount Holly and went to Moorestown High School, where he played football and basketball. He was a member of 3 undefeated New Jersey State Championship teams, 2 basketball and 1 football. After that, after Moorestown, he went to Penn State, where he played offensive and defensive end under Rip Engel. He was before even Joe Paterno came out, and Joe Paterno was there forever. Paterno was actually an assistant while Dave Robinson was at Penn State. He was first-team All-American in 1962. He was the MVP of the 1962 Gator Bowl. He is a member of the College Football Hall of Fame. After college, I thought this was great. He was drafted in the first round of the 63 NFL draft by the Packers. Also, the third round of the AFL draft by the Chargers. And also by the Montreal Alouettes of the Canadian Football League as well. So he was drafted 3 times out of high school and had his pick of where to go. Apparently, the Chargers had offered him more money. But then they ran into some problems. This is kind of the downfall of the AFL, which led to the AFL-NFL merger. And they were going to trade his rights to Buffalo. But Dave Robinson's fiance at the time, who later obviously became his wife, said, no way. Buffalo is way too cold. We're not going to Buffalo. Neither of them had ever been to Wisconsin. So they chose to go to Green Bay. Not much warmer in Green Bay, but Dave played linebacker for the Packers under the legendary Vince Lombardi. He was a 3-time champion, played in the first 2 Super Bowls. He was first-team All-Pro in 1967, second-team All-Pro in 1968 and 69, 3-time Pro Bowler. He's a member of the NFL's All-Decade Team of the 1960s. He is in the Packers Hall of Fame, the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame. His number 89 is retired by Moorestown High School, the only player in Moorestown High School history to have his number retired. And he is an NFL Hall of Famer, and probably somebody you did not really know about. Dave Robinson, the Moorestown High School alum and Mount Holly native, is our Black History Spotlight of the day. Started at Penn State, was an All-American, won the first 2 Super Bowls, 3 championships under Vince Lombardi for the Packers, college, pro, Philadelphia, Green Bay Packers, Hall of Fame, one of the best to ever do it in the NFL in the 60s. Dave Robinson, one of our own local heroes. And those are the kind of things you can expect for the month of February. And again, I love guys like Dave Robinson who were amazing, and most of us had never even heard about. Maybe our dads and our grandparents. But Dave Robinson is today's Philly Sports Black History Spotlight of the day. The first of 29 this month because it is a leap year. All right. On this day, back in 1973, the Flyers beat the Canucks 5-4 at the Spectrum. But Barry Ashebee was the big news. He was suspended this day, 8 games, and fined $150 for punching a referee in the face in a game in Pittsburgh a couple days prior in January. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Phillies City jerseys. I think they're horrible. I don't know if they'll even grow on me. But let me know what you think. 267-495-8531. Get you in. Let me know what your thoughts are. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Buy your Girl Scout cookies. Let me know if that hit or the dive on Joe was dirty or not. But it is February. Let's start off fresh this month. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History. I'm Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Thursday. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.